Hello and welcome. It is 10 past 11 a.m. on Friday, the 24th of January 2025. The timeline is CET, and I am sharing with you from the west coast of Europe, Central Europe, Northern Central Europe. This is the North Sea, Atlantic, an area that is nowadays called Germany, and I welcome. Yes, I need to mention the river Elbe, which reminds me so much of Alba, that is Great Britain, the White Island. However, I just mentioned the river Elbe because it goes far into Central Eastern Europe, places of great nature, places of many events, and also would like to mention the German national river Weser, which is between the singular city-state Bremen and Lower Saxony. And the reason I'm saying this of course, there still is, but was a big port, Bremerhaven. Yes, Elvis Presley landed here during his time in the US Army, already famous, but that's not the reason I am mentioning this. This is just a little snippet. I just wanted to show you the interconnectedness with this land, because apparently 7 million people left by boat into the new Americas from Bremerhaven. My sense, living on this shore, there were 100 times as many having to walk from Far East. Yeah, the areas that are now fighting against each other, let's call it the vastness of the Atlas Mountain, and no, excuse me, it's not the Atlas. That is in Africa. I will write this in the description. I do not want to get too much into my analytical mind. I really wanted to speak to you deeply from this place of heritage from her, as also not far from the Greenwich Meridian, and in fact being a student there in that area and the River Thames, I just wanted to point out that what connects us are the rivers, and to say there are many underground rivers, and the rivers form roots like the trees do. They're all connected. So this, I get the Miocene, but it's not. It's that what, I don't know where I get the Miocene, Mycone. Maybe this is what it's called. Maybe it relates to a certain aura around Earth. Maybe because I wanted to relate it to the mushroom that are connected via a net, but it doesn't really matter. We are all connected via our neural networks, our light bodies, our aura, somas, and by the meridians, the acupuncture points, the Merkabahs, and also the Schumann lines and the meridians and the portals in our body, as well as on our planet, but also the cosmos. And there are many more than those that are described. And yes, it is all evolving. And we're letting go of the old myth that were created in the last 5,000 years. And you and I are the creators of the new way of looking at these ancient skills of speaking to the stars, communing with the cosmos, being guided, finding our way, and as I see our own little cave, our physical body, part of our healing temple, that is everything that we sum up. And for me, nothing is real unless it is embodied in my personal beingness. And I share with you from the visceral experience and the translation of mainly images, but sounds and words. But these words are more like hieroglyphs, petroglyphs, runes, mandalas. Basically, it's a bit like Atlantean light language when, yeah, or it's a bit like the familiar Aum. However, I want to keep it even more general, the valves of our language. The first words we speak, our breathing, and the various alphabets, but we're going into the pre-written languages. Yeah, so we learned through sound and hand-drawn pictures. We communed via what is now called telepathy, but it is not tele. It is not something far away. It is us. We are the resonators, the receivers of love. And yes, here I come finally. I'm sorry. This is just what happens with my being wants to keep it short, concise, say one thing, and the stories tumble in. So um it can only be deep and in the good way, because it's in the depth we find ourselves. It is the superficiality of our life, our upbringing, and the superficial distraction and crizzling, and nothing against entertainment, excuse me, song and dance and food and celebration has got its place. But if we are pulled away from our core, or heart-centeredness, beingness, and we lose ourselves in the one-sided information and this dramatic sensation which overstimulate us. And some of us have been in this situation because they were not in the fortunate position to have grandparents that taught them, or had parents that could homeschool, or were able to nurture their talents from a young age in whichever outlet. And we all have been through various shocking moments, but we're here. Yeah, we are all masters of our life and all are survivors of our traumas. And I'm being pulled back to the word of past lives, but I don't really want to go into this. I do not wish to give my, what at this moment is an opinion, but it keeps coming up. I will focus on this in depth when it wants it to appear. I just want to say this much, that being here in the here and now, everything happening at the same time, I just want to say that, does it matter? Whose life is it anyway? Point is, our wisdom comes via the experiences of those that came before us, and these are bio family members. I'm saying that in terms of the 3D word of this, what we call DNA, nucleic acid. Okay, it's a fluid. Okay, codons. Okay, it is a series of connected elements, and I just wanted to share with you that the known DNA is like 1% of who we are, so we shouldn't focus too much on that. What I am sharing with you is that the wisdom, the hearts, the eyes, the hands of our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and in German they're called Eltern, a little bit like elders, but Eltern, Großeltern, and Urgroßeltern. The word Ur, this is like original. Oh, this is like ancient. These are so, and then it goes Ur, Ur. And funny enough, the word clock with an H in it in German means, okay, clock, Uhr, U-H-R. The H, I know many of you have many talents with you. At this moment, I simply would like to come back to the center, to the core, to the hearts of hearts, to our essence, and go back to why I want to speak to you. So, the wisdom of the Ur is all within us, but it is also surrounding us, because the same applies to the trees, to the oceans, to the little creek next to where you take your walk, to the flowers, and to any animal you encounter. And so much happening in the cosmos, and doing, my attention is being pulled here and there, and I probably could talk 5 hours, and I did not intend to do this. I know that it is a very stimulating time, and it can be overstimulating. And so therefore to withdraw in one's cave when one can, to take rests, to only do the minimum, to honor the responsibilities, the ability to respond, to really nurture ourselves, to really prepare what we eat and drink for us and for others. It is the cauldron. It is the elixir of life, what we take in. And it is love, compassion, healing, peace, stirring a pot of soup is your elixir. With that, I mean, I don't like the word medicine, excuse me. I was trying to figure out, but if we're talking about animal medicine in the native sense, then we can talk about food medicine in, yeah, Ayurvedic or in any. But what I mean to say is you don't need to spend a lot of resources on creating something that warms you and heals you. And if you do it with that love, any spaghetti, any potato soup, any piece of bread, the water you drink becomes your healing, your healing waters. The German word for the food you can buy are Lebensmittel. That means these are things to live, Leben. So basically, Mittel zum Leben. That means they give you life. So, and they, well, in ideal world should not be packaged, should not have barcodes, and should not go through a laser, and should not be thrown over a cash desk and treated like unimportant, cheap, unnecessarily unimportant. No, it's the opposite. Nurturing can be to simply get yourself some cold hot water, make a simple soup, and stir it in love, albeit maybe infusing it with that what you need. Like, may this nurture my entire being. May this peaceful soup, may this be peace, bring peace, spread peace, and anything else, as well as may this soup bring me, bring my being, my body healing. May this soup of love talk to the areas of tension. And if you're making it for somebody else, this is how you can, with love and compassion, without saying much, imparting the good wishes for their self-healing. And of course, making food for our pets. And let me say, it's not so long ago that our pets ate the same things we ate because that is what was there, what the season gave. And however, simply preparing, even taking it out of the package into the bowl, you can change the quality because you're creating it with your hands and your heart. So got sidetracked. Nevertheless, it's obviously wanted to come out. So because of the depth of who I am, what was gifted to me, let's say it that way, I had a few days offline, and it greatly supported my battery recharging, and it feels like that I would go back to recording offline on the computer rather than using this streaming service to upload onto this platform, because also the amount of advertising and censorship, and even if it is a great technology because it is fast and accessible to many, it's simply at this point too much. My energy, my resources, my time need to be focused on the inner, with all these Piscean alignments, all the Cancerian and Scorpion, all the deep waters, as well as the Piscean Aquarian. And well, to embody it, I wish to support my heart in what I am sharing with you is as pure and authentic as the evolutionary stages of this being allows. And so I will use another program and make audios in 2025 and post them on my WordPress webpage. And if you have noticed that blueroom.org has now a different web address that I shared in the community notes of this channel, it is because whilst I had the $20 to secure my domain, I did not have the $100 spare to pay for a year's subscription to keep that premium account. We are okay. There are others that go through losing everything. But the priority is that I can support the four-leggeds that are here in my care and the few remaining family members as much as I can. And so until such time that this work, that this project, it's not work in the old sense, this project, this service to all beings on this planet and in all dimensions and in the cosmos, the guidance is to just share it and not put an entry ticket on to it. However, I must share with you that, of course, dedicating my lifetime to this and the last year I spent on finding, any kind of work here in the surroundings to support the project Blue Room. And from 2 out of 3 places, I was treated very badly and felt very used. And I said a lot of limitations. No one talked to me directly, and I left places because no contract was coming forth. This is all to do with the health insurance that one has to pay. It's mandatory. And the many other expenses that one has to pay, like for the TV, even though I don't have one. And there is so much political things. I don't even want to go into this. So there are so many must pays unless you really decide to live totally off grid, and you can do this. But as in this country, there's always ways around it, but it depends on your connections and depends on the family history. It depends on your luck, and it depends also if you wish to live in a caravan, which is nothing bad. It is just where is it placed? And well, let's say it like that. Other countries have less inhabitants, have larger areas, have more experienced resource in being self-sufficient. and or offer communities, and also the weather allows you to sleep in your converted minivan car all year round. However, it is possible to be creative in any situation. But then again, why does any one of us need to let go of the infrastructure that we require? I mean, it is like having winter boots and summer sandals. Surely you can go barefoot. Anyhow, I just wanted to share with you, and I wanted to give a shout out that a couple of days ago, the €5.33 that reached me for my first member via, in this case, the Ko-fi. And I posted a note if that person hears me on the Ko-fi page, and that actually came into my bank account, and it isn't these €5.33 that is what is left after €6 were given freely. It is the support received, the love. And whilst at this point we still need money to feed the family or to keep them warm, because everything is investment and you need a certain amount of time to get there, to have that infrastructure. And so it is a step-by-step approach. And many of us had to start afresh again and again. And so we may not have had the luxury that our parents had of being in one place 50 years, going traveling, furnishing a house, bringing up the children all on one income. It seems my being has a lot to share with you, and I deeply, deeply, deeply acknowledge all those of you that had to let go of everything, as this is not unfamiliar to any of us. I would say anyone who shares their wisdom with you has been to not just the 0 point, the minus point. And if not us, then our parents or our grandparents. And these are people that we knew that survived all these dramas and traumas, and still they could share their love. I do not know how they managed this, just as we manage these times. It is not easy, and there may be no small children running around unless you are lucky to have this pure laughter. And how brave you are to have this hope and to create the new earth, and these children will carry it on, and maybe it is for them why some of us need to paint pictures, write books, do podcasts, or learn how to cook or bake so we can pass it on. But then some of us are lucky to have our four-leggeds or any fluffy, any animal that shares our space. And if not that, then we may have flowers and plants, and we have the birds and wild animals, the trees outside. Somewhere you can always find a place to create a garden, even if it is in a old potato bag. And then you have the sun, the cosmos, and the stars, or the rain, snow. So there is a connection because all is natural law. Okay, so that was another loop for you. This is exactly the reason why I wish to stay offline. I record the nudges when they come and do it at a time when it is even more calming, usually at nighttime. And so, yes, last but not least, I think I did 4 recordings in the last 2-3 days, and these will be found under the 2025 tab of, I think it's blueroom3.wordpress, and there's something after that. So okay, I wanted to give a shout out to the person that became a monthly member. It doesn't matter how long you will be a monthly member, but if you are supporting me this way and you do it for a year, my goodness, that would be so supportive. And I would like to give a shout out to the 2 others that bought me coffees right at the beginning, because that page has been going since January 23. So plus I posted some projects from 22. So it's been going, and when I can, I would transfer all the video from YT channel and source all the audios and put them onto the web page too. There is no way of securing any of these audios. That means anyone can download them. I would have to open a different account elsewhere, and well, I simply trust that those that I need to hear my voice will hear it, and this being of mine has big compassion, particularly for those that are not in the position to have an income on their own. And the downloadable part is because you don't have to be online streaming it. That is the whole point. And of course, I could do it so that you only download it for €1 or $2, $1 or $2. But my guidance is to connect this, what comes through wildly, and that you are free to support this in the way you can, as I trust the pure thing is the pure thing. Those of us listening can decide what it is generated without a human heart and what is truthful. And apart from that, I will have all my original talks here, and so I let all of this go. The same applies to some of the art that has come through, and so I simply would like to send out the wish into the universe and also to this planet that anyone who uses this as a basis of their own creation to please simply cite the source like you would do in any book, in any university paper, and also I acknowledge all those that imparted tips, ideas, thoughts, sometimes one sentence, sometimes one word. I remember the stories in the various publications that enriched me, and it is sad we have to pay for books. Yeah, whichever way you go, if you write pencil on paper, photocopy it or transcribe it, or you take a photo of it, or you make an ebook out of it, or you make a podcast out of it, an audiobook, it requires the hardware, the software, the energy, the time, the resources, which is all fine. This has gone on longer and I have lost a bit of the energy, so I don't mind you feeling it feels like the energy pendulums. It goes in being centered and it goes out. Also, I had it extremely challenging, upsetting, then healing, but strenuous day yesterday. And I understand, and this is from Ronna Prince, that works with the Aurosoma. I'm sure doing many others, but I'm on her email list, and she reminded of the Aurosoma number 123, and that the 23rd of January was a 123 day. I am not too much into numerology at this point, nor am I too much into Aurosoma, but I have friends or acquaintances. I also know it from times living in other countries like the UK that it at its time there were some of the most interesting and helpful things for many. And so I wish to honor. It's not about me. It is about us. So whichever connection works, supports you, that is a good one. So it was just, in hindsight, remarkable. I had such a awful, yeah, I would say judgmental meeting with an mm, with an agency, and it's not his or their fault, and it is how dysfunct the this particular system is that we support with our resources, with our work. But if I wouldn't have been me, this type of conversation could drive, yeah, not just a young person or an elder person, any person that is trying to manage their life, and somebody saying there is no hope, there is no chance, this isn't working, that isn't working, your life is like nothing, meaning in this case your the things you've done in your life. I was able to not um, let this voice do power over, but the walking through this, walking into this town, into that building, into that room, sitting with that voice, and then walking out, and the entire time before and after. And yes, I got a lot of things done that I can only do there. And yes, I was grateful for the lady at the postal counter smiling at me. I thank all those caring elders and grandmother types. In fact, I thank also all the young ones that are simply kind and simply treat you politely and not with this kind of, I would say it was the old, very macho, but also masculine patriarchal energy. Yes, moving through a man, but there are women that display this too. And it's his own lack of horizon, his own desperation because the people above that devise this system tell the ones below how it is supposed to function, and the dysfunctionality of nothing is personal, everything is digital, and things that are stored are sketchy, and then they are measured to the normal, whatever normal is. Yeah, I would say old-fashioned, stuck controlling, boring, lack of imagination, and in many ways, this righteousness that someone can judge. He was judging anyone or anything outside of the world. And I am thankful, and this is what I would like to say, that there was, in this case, a younger person. And this is not to do with age. It is just to differentiate between the two, who was sitting in and learning, but he listened and obviously learned how I dealt with the immense wall from the first word that was spoken to me. And we did have a conversation and we exchanged some things, and he was new to the area and most likely will sit in that chair 6 months from now or elsewhere, and had his own reasons to be there. But the difference is he was interested without saying. His energy was maybe a little tired and a little bit neutral, understandably, at 8 a.m. on a very wintry morning. And he was interested in the experiences I have had. Um, well, and it soothed a little bit, even though he was not in charge of that. And the whole thing after that, the elder person who should really be the one with the wisdom, but whatever day he had, whatever conditions, in the end, it was a feeling that his disempowerment is what gave him the stress and having to talk to various people. And I'm sure he's judging himself, yet he sits on the other side of the table. Yeah? However, okay, I held the energy, but I it will take me 3 days or so to move through this portal of a chance to heal more. This is what it is. And I don't know why I find myself again there. I promised myself never to be in that position way back when, but there is a right that we do have when we partake in a social structure. It is just that we are in transition, as many out there say, and we get the chance to be flung once more, dipped into the mud, so we can rise a purer and brighter lotus. Well, I have to share with you, I don't in any way agree that we need trauma to be enlightened. I don't agree we need to apply pressure to create the diamond. I don't agree we need to get shocked. And well, that was a form of verbal abuse that went through my whole body. And I had prepared for this meeting. And I was told that this person would be particularly non-ageist and non, well, I wouldn't say he was against female biologically humans, but certainly in his stress, I would say, his role of bringing it to the essence, well, his viewpoint was absolute wrong. So I was nevertheless allowed to share my voice there, and maybe this is why I was there. So the second half of this meeting, I voiced a lot of things, and maybe they had to be voiced in those rooms and that place. Many of us are put into situations where we anchor light. It's tiring, yes. And yeah, this just shows how you can interpret a word, a sentence, a fact from one or many other sides, and how you can impart positiveness and nice feelings, or how you can tread on somebody. Um, I don't know how I would have handled this with 14 when I was possibly then facing the breakup of my family, which in some ways did happen, but also where I had no one that I could share with. And in hindsight, I understand the cycles of the planets, but um, somebody who is already going through a lot of hardship, this would have been a way to opt out. This is really irresponsible. And so how can we build functional surroundings? There are examples everywhere on this planet and in our history. How can we support those that go through shocking experiences? And some people might not be able to understand these circumstances. so we may not be able to reach them with words. So this is the reason why I wish to share and know, in case you think I needed that experience, no, I came into this life with enough. I didn't need reminders, but then, as I said, we are put in this situation not necessarily for ourselves. And yes, you can say it tested your strengths. Well, I'm going to stop now. I would like all of us to move into joy, to create in fun, to enjoy, to enjoy, to be in joy. And it doesn't have to be exuberant. You don't have to dance on the table. Though dance up the deal, that's kind of Plattdeutsch. So dance on the wooden floor. Um, is fine spontaneously, but you can be quietly feeling the connection. And even if you're sad, you can still say to yourself, I am there for you. And so is that what created me or us created us. We are all here. And even if your loved ones no longer on this realm, you carry them with you. So just think of their smile or anything that connects you with them. You have the memory in your heart forever, not just for this life. Ooh. This quick update was another storytelling. Okay, I'm fine. You're fine. Whatever is happening, and we are walking through this. We know. We feel better. And I trust you are able to master whatever you're mastering. And so, just to say, this email that I saw today on the 24th, that it was a 1 to 3 day of new beginnings, is a confirmation of the fact that what happened, and I am grateful to be here, able to record this. And so please, I will put it in the descriptions, and should the situations change, meaning in the course of the year, if the conditions become easier as they are meant to be kind of halfway through the year, who knows? Who knows? For now, I will have to focus within, but I will share what I'm being nudged to do, via the web page in audio recordings, and all I can say is that I trust in those beings that support me in going deep, that even though it is deep and rather long, it is authentic. And, you know, it may well be that the birthing of an idea and the birthing of a new being is relatively quick, an hour, a day to several days, but the preparation is a year. So whilst decisions are made in a millisecond, the preparation for this, because there are often things going through our life for a long time, and then sometimes it feels as if we have to make a quick decision, but actually we may have already made it. We just were not totally clear, or the situation simply happened. But wow, in fact, you can't prepare for everything. You can anticipate it. How you feel then, you don't know. And so this is the point when you can have compassion and where you can forgive, because who knows what year, what month, what day this person had. And so many words that I share with you, I trust that what I share with you is supportive. That is the reason I find the courage and it's not because I feel I have to. No, I could say, no, thank you. It's not mine to be public in any way. It's not mine to put my voice out there. I can only say I am following an inner voice, that of my own truth, authenticity, and ability to respond. Okay, so those three people that gave some resources in these last 3 years are not the only ones that supported me. There were others I was fortunate enough to exchange with, and there were words that carried me through months and months and months. And also there was family that was there for me, even though I'm the person that would rather, that almost expects to manage all by myself and then share the abundance. But there are times when that isn't possible. Happens to all of us. It's not a judgment on you having done something wrong. No, it is simply the potential. And just to also make one more statement, as I keep mentioning some astrological alignments, I have to say that this mandala, this blueprint, this Blaupause, this chart, 2D chart of something which is multi-D, needs to be read at the right frequency. And so if there are things in books or you hear people say things, you have to understand the context. And so what I'm trying to say is that if somebody gives you a non-matching, non-resonating sentence, yeah, we still need to go through digesting this all. That means, we still have to walk through it. It is happening in our life. We may be tired of it. It is not about giving your power away when you are consulting another voice in whichever way, a friend, partner, parent, a somebody who did this for many years. It depends on the heart vibration because things can appear very differently. I'm feeling strange to share this with you as I can feel head pressure coming along, but this is what it is. And anytime I share with you, there is a change of energy around me. And so to honor that, okay, postscriptum. You find those recordings on the website under the tab 2025. I will be slowly putting the video recordings, which aren't videos, which are podcasts from the YT, onto the website in audio format. It will take time, and I will let you know how things go in terms of what else I am guided to share with you And so I am really deeply share my compassion with the path you walk through. If it's not you, then a family member, a good friend, the people down the road, the people on the other side of the globe, all those walking through trauma. My compassion goes out to you. Trust that our ancestors survived so we could be here. And we may not know why some go this way, the others go that way. We may not know why we need to really step through intense situations. Holding the peace in your heart, because that peace is a birthright. This planet has always been peaceful. The entire galaxy has always been peaceful. Whatever the reasons for these warrior actions, that is not why life was created. It was created for the unfoldment of your dreams. It wasn't meant to be created in lack. It wasn't meant to be disjoined from the body and feel disease. And the idea of that we must part one day is not the way how it is being meant. There are passages, there are evolutions, but there certainly, in the natural way, is no step back. And so I leave you with the last thought regarding this 26,000-year cycle. If we cycle in cyclical, elliptical, spiral motion, we will not hit the same points of darkness again. So personally, I don't see that after this so-called golden age, we will drop back into a lower vibration. That is not my knowing. But we shall see, as we are many, and it's not important to me to be right. I am just sharing with you what resonates within me. And so if you listen to somebody and there are words you don't agree with, that's okay. but just focus on the essence that does resonate. That is the bit to focus on. Everybody is having a journey, and it's not always smooth, which is okay. Yet, I know we will have sunny days. We will have the sun on our skin again, and I don't mean in a desert. I don't mean in the sense of too much sun. I mean the inner sun. And so if you would like to be reminded of what you already know, do as many things that you can that nurture you, that give you joy. And if you feel a block, like you can't write, you can't paint, you can't dance, you're too busy with reacting to happenings, then trust. You will just decide, I'm now taking a walk. I'm now singing a song. I am now creating a picture. And I'm now making some music. Or, well, just cuddle up with your kid or your cat or anyone else that you are lucky to have. Lucky to have is not the right word. You are gladly have as part of your life. And so I thank you for having you in my life, and I am delighted to have had the courage to share my voice. And even though it's gotten 3 times as long, what the heck? I'm still here after that day of yesterday, and thank you for all the things you do in this life to support others, and thank you for sharing with me. And till the next time, much love, peace, and so it is. This is still Blue from blueroom.org, and thank you. Thank you.